5 freedoms are promised to you and me in Article 1 of the Bill of Rights of the Constitution. Here they are, in the order in which they appear. Number 1, freedom of religion. Number 2, freedom of speech. Number 3, freedom of the press. Number 4, freedom of assembly. And number 5, the freedom or the right to petition the government for a redress of grievances. This video is the first of 11 videos, with this one being an introduction to the 10 Freedoms series. Each video deals with a different freedom that is under attack in our world today. The first 5 freedoms come from the Bill of Rights. The second 5 are, well, they're inventions of mine. But I think that you'll find them to be legitimate freedoms that all people everywhere should be able to enjoy. I've already reminded you of the 5 freedoms of the Bill of Rights, and so now here is a summary of freedoms 6 through 10. Once again, these are freedoms that I believe every man, woman, and child, regardless of race, creed, or color, should have to enjoy as a God-given right. Freedom number 6, freedom from intimidation. I don't know about you, but I don't think you have real freedom of speech if some ugly thug is standing over you growling, "Go ahead and speak, pal, take your chances." Neither do you have freedom of speech or any of the other freedoms promised to us in the Bill of Rights if you have to fear ridicule or humiliation by those who disagree with you, or maybe an IRS audit, or loss of your job, or censure by some ruling authority who may not like the particular words that you have chosen to make your point. Freedom number 7, freedom of information. Aren't you getting just a little bit tired of every administration promising us transparency and giving us opacity instead? Why is it that every branch of government really likes to do things behind closed doors and behind the curtains and in the wee hours of the morning and via a stack of 1,000-page bills with 500 amendments that no one can read or comprehend? And now freedom number 8. Freedom number 8, freedom from onerous debt placed on us by an out-of-control government. To me, it's common sense. If we can't pay our own way, how can it be right for us to burden our children and grandchildren? Freedom number 9, the freedom to fail or to succeed. Listen, my friend, it is not the purpose of the government to assure every person a minimal level of success. That concept will create for all a very low common denominator and stifle human achievement. We must be left alone to fail or to succeed on our own. We should not be called to mediocrity, but to greatness. And now freedom number 10, freedom of life, freedom to be born and to die naturally. In some ways, you could argue that this should be freedom number 1. After all, if someone or some group of bureaucrats begin to tell citizens who can be born and who should die, the rest of the freedoms are irrelevant. Now, concerning these 10 freedoms, most of us are so darn busy just trying to eke out a living that we barely notice the erosion of our liberties. But it's happening right before our eyes. And in this series of videos, I'm calling us, you and me, to account for the protection and the reinstatement of the 10 freedoms. We must do it in honor of our brave forefathers and for the millions who have fought and died for the freedoms we now take for granted. But we must also do it for those who will follow us, for our children and our grandchildren. You can read the text of the 10 Freedom Essays at 10freedoms.com. I'll post them there with all the videos as well. And if you would like a copy of the 10 Freedoms as an ebook, make your request at 10freedoms.com. I'll send it to you free. I would like to conclude with this prayer by the great American patriot Patrick Henry. Is life so dear or peace so sweet as to be purchased at the price of chains and slavery? Forbid it, Almighty God. I know not what course others may take, but as for me, give me liberty or give me death. This is Ron Ross. Thanks for listening.